Ishrat Hussain, working as a Senior Research Associate at SANEM. The theme of this session is Growth Dynamics. The session will be chaired by Professor Mustafizur Rahman, Distinguished Fellow, Center for Policy Dialogue. I humbly request Sir to take his seat in the podium. The discussant of this session is Dr. Somir Kumar Das, Assistant Professor, School of Liberal Studies, University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Uttarakhand, India. He is connected with us through Zoom. I would like to request the in-person paper presenters, Mr. Shushabhan Mahta and Ms. Saifa Samsad Porshia, to come and take their seat. We have two online presenters, Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Sharma and Mr. Avichal Sharma. They are connected with us through Zoom. Now, I would like to hand over the session to the chair, Dr. Mustafizur Rahman sir.
Good morning. Thank you very much. I appreciate this invitation to chair a very important session, the first breakout session of the 7th SANEM Annual Economic Conference. This is also an opportunity to register my deep appreciation of the efforts of SANEM, Dr. Bodrul Haq Khandokar, Selim Raihan, and Dr. Bidisha and the team. Over the years, this is the 7th SANEM, so over the years, I think that a large number of young scholars have passed through these sessions. Not only enriching their own knowledge, but also I think the social capital that comes with it, networking with peers. I think that is also very important. So I'd like to appreciate SANEM for creating this opportunity. At CPD, we also try to do policy dialogues, but one of our own realizations is that our audience average age sometimes is about 65. So from that perspective, I think that SANEM's efforts have a distinctive feature that it brings together young scholars, which is very important because they are the future. And the title of the session, of course, is also very forward-looking, which you young researchers, teachers, scholars will have to tackle, and new dynamics, emerging dynamics, and new frontiers. It's not one frontier, there are many frontiers and many dynamics. So you will have to deal with those challenges. I guess and I understand that there are also many participants, not only from South Asia, from others also joining online and also being present here. So you'll be knowing that our country is passing through a number of unforeseen, unprecedented challenges at this moment. So these are the type of discussions which are required in order to equip our policymakers, our decision makers to tackle with these type of unforeseen challenges. So from that perspective also, this conference is very important. So I wanted to put on record the appreciation for SANEM's efforts. Now we have a very loaded session, 4 presentations, and we also look forward to hearing from Dr. Somir Kumar Das. So without much ado, I will go straight to our presentation. The 4 themes are quite diverse, and some of them are, they try to blend both policies and frontier econometric and analytical tools. So that is also something which is important, but I hope that there will be also a good follow-up discussions on what are the policy implications of the presentations. As someone who has been involved with policy influencing for many years, that is one yardstick that I always try to apply. And I can see that all the 4 have very important policy implications, but we will have to tease them out from the very rigorous analytical frameworks that have been applied in the papers. I was going through the presentations last night. Now, okay, so do we go as it is there? So the online, they will also come as and when required, is it? Okay, okay. So I would like to first invite Shushovan, Mr. Shushovan Mahata. He is a PhD scholar, University of Calcutta, and his theme is An Introduction to Hidden Influence Games, the basic structure, their structural representation, and equilibrium analysis. So very interesting theme, but Shushovan, you have only 10 minutes.
Okay, I will manage.
Okay.
You'll notify at 5 minutes and 1 minute.
Okay, so with the permission of the chair, I'm beginning my presentation. So, good morning, everyone. So, as Sir has said, that there should be some policy implications, but before understanding about the policy, right, the optimality of the policy or why policy fails. So, one of the reasons that I have found out, that is I'm going to present, that is the games of hidden influence. That is bringing a hidden player in the domain of strategic game theory, right? So whoever is in economics or political science, you will understand the strategic game theory, right? So, but before talking about the hidden influence game, as a prelude, I would raise question on common knowledge and beliefs, how beliefs are formed, right? So you see that whatever you see may not be the reality, right? And whatever is reality, you may not see it. The meaning of this is that there are two types of cognition error while we take our decisions, right? Or while we form our beliefs. So first one is false positive. That means believing something is real when it is not. And another one is false negative. That means not believing the reality, right? So these are two problems in decision making or the micro decision making of individuals. So let us take an example. Suppose you are walking through some deserted area of Africa, right? And let E be the event that there are some disturbance in the grasses, but you do not know that why the disturbance are happening. So B1 is a belief that there is a rustle hiding in the grass, right? And suppose there is a snake. And B2 is a belief that there may be due to wind, the grasses are moving, right? So what you are going to do, or which belief you are going to adopt. So actually, it depends on the cost of formation of belief. So if the cost of believing something unreal is less than the cost of believing something real, then you will go with the unreal situation, right? So for example, suppose if I believe that there is some dangerous animal or like the rustle or some other snake that may be causing the disturbance in the grasses, right? And if my belief is false, then what is the cost? The cost will be very less because my life is saved, right? But suppose I believe that it is wind and I find that it is a dangerous animal, then the cost of this belief is very high. Therefore, I will go with the first belief that there may be some animal hiding in the grass, while it may not be so in reality, right? So basically, and there are some other examples also. You see that wearing a particular shirt or sitting in a particular position, we expect that our team will win, right? There are some misconceptions or misbelief or false belief actually. Or for example, wearing a particular locket or something can make your interview good. Or sometimes we can see faces in the clouds, right? So actually there are no faces in the clouds, but we have a false positive belief that there are faces in the clouds, right? So given this, so see, it is called? This pattern of believing something false is called patternicity, right? So it means because individuals are not able to always assign some causal probabilities of happening, right? We do econometrics and we find every kind of, by assuming that people are rational, right? But actually it is not so. So when people are unable to assign some causal relationship, then what they do, they form positive, false positive belief, right? And they relate some non-causal with the causal activities. For example, if I wear this locket, my presentation is going to be good today. Those are unrelated, but I am relating those, right? Because my cost of making this false belief is very less. So actually, whatever we call irrationality, it contains an element of perceived or false rationality that you have to understand, right? So irrationality does not mean that people is just fool or mad. So there is something rationality that is working in the mind of the people, But that rationality is again a false belief, right? So why this is important? So you see that whenever we are taking our day-to-day decisions, right? For example, the voting decision, right? Voting on a policy or voting a particular government, right? So if we are not aware that who are the actual players in the game and who are influencing us or who are not influencing us, our decision is bound to be wrong. We may vote, maybe that we are putting our finger on the EVM machine or writing the ballot paper, but it may be that there is some invisible hand who is controlling our arms. So we need to identify that. So in game theory, this has been touched upon. For example, we have incomplete information game where we do not know the real nature of the player, right? But we are aware of the distribution of the nature of the player. But I am making an assumption, or I am extending this beyond, right? By this I mean that we are not aware of some players who are hidden in the game. We do not know that they are actually the player in the game. So let me take an example. In the Indian context, right? So you see that 54% of Indians trust news on WhatsApp. Now this is very dangerous event because in WhatsApp we cannot identify what is true news and what is false news, right? But 54% is more than half. So more than half of your population is relying the news on WhatsApp and they are getting influenced, right? But actually you see that in India, nowadays, this is a reality that the media is mostly biased, right? They are doing biased reporting, in fact, false reporting. But as a voter, I am not aware of this. I think that media's role is to just give information, and they are giving information, but I do not know that they are player in the game. They have some payoff, right? And their payoff is inversely related with my payoff as a voter. So that we are not aware of. And there are some other examples, but I'm skipping those. Another example in the industrial economics is that we can have hidden cartels, right? So suppose you have a cartel of firms, but actually within that cartel there may be sub-cartel or sub-hidden cartel. Some of the companies may have some lobbying with the political parties or the incumbent political parties. So those are hidden coalition or hidden cartels. So that needs to be identified. We know there are a variety of oligopoly models, like we have learned about Kurno model, Stackelberg leadership model, right? Price leadership model, like those. But we have learned about cartel, but the direct application of this in IO, industrial organization, is that hidden cartel, formation of hidden cartels. So this is a basic gist of my model. That is, a general population does not know what is happening, right? And it does not even know that it does not know, right? And so on, it will go up to infimum. So this is completely different assumption or complete departure from what is known as common knowledge, right? And that I've already mentioned, that lack of pure rationality does not mean irrationality. It represents a rationality that is unknown to the decision maker. So let me skip this. So the hidden influence game, so the meaning is that the hidden influence game involves hidden player who can influence the game by influencing some of the players, right? Some of the visible players in the game and affecting their outcome and collective behavior and creating some configuration of false positive and false negative belief about the presence of the hidden player, right? So I will not go deep into the technicalities. I will just show you something that, see, if I define profile of a player by PI, this is just a bit technical, right? Profile of a player by PI, where profile means the combination of strategies and the payoff of any ith player, right? Then the knowledge set of the ith player is union of all the profile that he knows, right? So suppose there are three players, player 1, 2, and 3, right? My profile is my strategy and my payoff. Your profile is your strategy and your payoff, right? But suppose in my knowledge set, your profile is not there. That means for me, you are hidden player, right? And if your profile is contained in my knowledge set, then you are visible to me and we are playing a strategic game, right? So these are basically rules of invisibility and visibility. And based on this, we can distinguish the player. Out of the total number of players, we can distinguish them on the basis of visible players and hidden player, right? And so what is the strategy of the hidden player? The strategy of the hidden player is actually choosing to influence or to not to influence the visible players in the game. So actually how the game works, let me give you a brief idea. Because time is short, I cannot go to every technical details. So you see, consider a dynamic game, right? Dynamic means multi-stage game. In stage 1, the hidden player has to decide that whether I shall remain hidden or I should make myself revealed. Because it is not always so that a hidden player is going to get benefit if he is or she is hidden. There may be, the benefit may be more if I get myself revealed, right? So in stage 1, the hidden player has to decide whether I will remain hidden or I will get myself revealed. In the second stage of the game, if the hidden player chooses to remain hidden, then it chooses to which player to influence and to whom I should not influence, right? And if the hidden player chooses that I want to get myself revealed, then the hidden player is going to play a simultaneous game with the other visible players in the game, right? So comparing the benefit and losses, right? The hidden player will decide whether I should remain hidden or I should make myself visible, right? So for example, you see that I've already said the political implication of it in today's voting mechanism, because one extension of the paper is modeling the media, the role of media in framing political decision, right? A common average person takes media information just another information, right? But actually, the false belief that media is creating on us as a viewer or as a voter, right? Then I am going to make a wrong decision in my vote. And if I make my wrong decision, then I am getting a payoff that is less than what I should have received if I have not believed that false belief, right? So this difference or this loss in my payoff is appropriated by the media, right? So the media and further passed on to whoever is making the media to influence. So actually media's payoff is contingent on the loss that I am going to face due to my false positive beliefs, right? So this is one of the political implication. And because we do not know that media is a player in the game, right? Suppose we people here in the conference room, we have a average intelligence level, so we are aware of this. But the average voter may not be always aware of this, and this is very much a reality. Otherwise, 54% of Indians would not have trusted news on WhatsApp, right? And this has a very and other implications are, as I've already mentioned. So I'm just skipping this. So these are some representation that how you can represent the games actually. So we can represent H1, H2. So those are basically the hidden players, right? And V1, V2 are the players who are visible, right? So these two hidden players are influencing the visible players like this. And I would like to just end up by showing one more important case, that is figure 1D. It is called a double agent game. So double agent game means what? Two visible players, V1 and V2, are playing the game among themselves, making some decision, right? But V2 has another side, right? V2 has another side. Another side means another strategy, another payoff. That is, that V1 is unaware of, right? So actually, player 2, I'm just ending. So player 2 has two sides. One side is known to player 1, the another side is not known to player 1. So in this case, V2 is playing the role of double agent. Has a double agency means what? I have two objectives. One objective is known to everyone, common knowledge. Another objective is my private knowledge, right? So in this kind of game also, we always get Pareto suboptimality, right? Which is very different from what is Pareto optimality. And this, again, the difference is going to be appropriated by the hidden player. So I think I should stop here.
Thank you.
That's all. Yeah.
Thank you, Shishobhan. It was an excellent presentation. I hope, I wish I could give you more time because the issues that you have mentioned are very important from the point of decision making. So who really controls the media, who controls the perceptions is very important. But in a democratic society, I would argue that you have said that 54% believes in WhatsApp, but in a democratic society, the WhatsApp messages would also give you different perspective. There is no one message coming out of WhatsApp because there are many players there and they try to influence public opinion. So when you say that 54% believes in what WhatsApp is telling them, that message is also not unique. They will get various signals from the WhatsApp, isn't it? So, but your major point is very, very important, and the solution to that is freedom of media, people being aware of the various perspectives, and then taking informed decision. I think informed decision making is the name of the game. Otherwise, people will try to manipulate our perceptions, our opinion, and that will also be reflected in voting patterns or any other decision making. So thank you very much. Excellent presentation. We will be now joined, I think, online by Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Sharma, who is Assistant Professor, Institute for Studies in Industrial Development, ISID, New Delhi, Center of Excellence. And his theme is exploring policy strategies for achieving manufacturing-led growth in India and analysis using CG modeling framework. I think this resonates very well with what we are also facing in Bangladesh in terms of policy making, industrial policy making, manufacturing strategies. So I think it will be very important to align what he will be speaking with the Bangladesh context. Okay.
Dr. Sharma, please kindly share your presentation.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, Akhilesh, go on.
And my screen is visible?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, hi, thank you. And thank you, Sanem, and you to giving me opportunity to present this paper. And in fact, I am thankful to Professor Rehan also because he has helped me for this analysis and this exercise. As we all know, that industrialization and development or developed economies are basically more or less synonymous. And basically, whenever we talked about the developed countries or when we aspire to become a developed country or when we envision to be a developed country, basically in the background it is to be the industrialized country. And industrialization is basically more or less related to the manufacturing-led growth. But in the recent past few decades, it has been realized that most of the developing countries are following a little bit different path. In that case, that before reaching the higher level of the manufacturing share in the GDP, the manufacturing share in GDP has started declining. Particularly in the case of Indian economy, its manufacturing share in GDP has declined and reached to around 16%. So it has, in some corners of the economies, it is being termed as the premature deindustrialization. And that's why this issue has manufacturing-led growth that has motivated me for this exercise is that in the post-COVID scenario, we have realized that during the pandemic, the countries, those who are the most industrialized are the countries that have the more industrial capabilities. Their resilience was better than the countries that had their industrial capabilities was less. So these were the driving force for me for conducting this exercise. And there are many seminal works related to the economic development theories that has also established that the manufacturing sectors, role of manufacturing sectors in the economic growth process, particularly the growth theories by Prebys, Hirschman, Rogerstein, Roden, Kaldor, etc. Particularly the Kaldor has more emphasis on the manufacturing-led growth economy. Another important aspect is even if the economy is led by the service sector, the potential of the service sectors is supported by the manufacturing sector because the main work of the service sector is rendering the services. And for that, achieving that good potential for that, we need the manufacturing products that supports the growth and and productivity and potential of the service sector. So all these arguments clearly mentions that manufacturing sectors may be in the center of the growth of any economy, and particularly in the developed economy. So this raised the question to me that can we transform the India into the manufacturing-led economy? And if yes, what should be the policy instrument for this? We all know that an economy is an interdependent and interconnected with other sectors of the economy. So if any intervention is being done to any sectors, it has both direct and indirect effect on the other sectors of the economy and as a whole economy, and relies through the intersectoral linkages, multiplier effects, and thus the total effect of the policy intervention is much more than the direct effect. And for such analysis, we have the different approaches, and that like input-output analysis, SAM multiplier analysis, and CG model analysis. And among the three, CG modeling is a better approach, because the other approach, the estimations is slightly overestimates by 3 to 10%. So that's why
Dr. Sharma, you have 5 minutes left.
Study the CG model approach. Oh, sorry,
5 minutes.
Please. In this study, we have used the PEP CG model, and the 68 sector SAM we have used, and that have the 13 sectors of the production, 8 types, 13 factors of productions, and 15 households and other forms, governments, taxes, investments, inventories, and rest of the words. And we have used the CG production functions, but value-added and aggregate intermediate consumptions, we have used the Leon-tube production functions for the outputs. And for among the different factors, we have used the CG and for both labor and capital. And I'm not going in detail. And just I am coming to the this year, the economic structure. And thus here we see that manufacturing sector's contribution in GBA is the 16.38%. And just I am speaking this here. And now we have used around 11 simulations, 11 alternative policies through which we can achieve we can see that what are its impact on the share of the manufacturing in the GBA. And as a policy instruments, we have the focusing on the productivity. Here the productivity is the total factor productivity other than the labor and the capital. And we have used the capital investment and both the productivity as well as the capital investment together. We have also used what would happen if we focus is on only the labor intensive manufacturing sectors, and other production incentives, whether it is given through the production taxes and direct taxes to the firms, and demand incentives if you are focusing on the increasing the demand economy through the reduction in the commodity taxes and the direct taxes, and whether we are focusing on the domestic firms through increasing the import duty of the manufacturing sectors, and comprehensive policies. That is we are taking the all above the policies together simultaneously. And simulation 10 and 11, the differences is that we have not incorporated the direct taxes. In simulation 11, the direct taxes has been removed. So if we see the simulation results, that is simulation 3 and simulation 10 and 11. And in that here, the manufacturing share in GBA has increased very significantly. And simulation 3 and simulation 10 and 11 are basically simulation 3 are taking the productivity and investment of the manufacturing sector, increasing the productivity and investment of the manufacturing sectors by 10%. And 10 and 11 are basically taking the comprehensive policy framework in which we have taken all the policies together, and like that we have seen here. And if you see that how much variation it is with the changes share of the manufacturing sector, that is the 16.38%. If you see the simulation 3, it is increased by 1.30%. It means that in 1 year, it will increase to the 17.68%. And if you are going by the simulation 3, and simulation 10, 11, it will go 17.73% and 17.74%. If you see its impact on the households' income distribution, we are seeing that these three policies has a very positive impact on the bottom quintile classes of the households. For all here, households are three category households: non-farm households, farm households, and urban households categories.
Last minute,
and also
please.
in the rural households categories. Yeah. Yeah. Hello. You say anything?
Yeah. Last minute, please. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And here again, we see that if again we see that if there we are relaxing the households, basically labor supply in the economy, that we have observed that there is increase in labor demand by 4.23%. And in Indian economy, the labor force annual growth rate is 4.34%. So we see that if we are focusing on the manufacturing sectors, investment and productivity increase are the comprehensive policies, it has potential to absorb the growing labor force of the economy. And if we follow these policies continuously, sustaining it for the, you can say, next 10 years, we can see that within a decade, by just within 6 to 7 years, we can achieve the manufacturing share by around 24 to 25%. So with this, we can see that if we are focusing on the manufacturing sectors through different policy interventions, particularly increasing the productivity and increasing the capital investment in the manufacturing sectors, or a comprehensive policy intervention in which we are increasing that, focusing, giving the tax incentives to the manufacturing sectors, entrepreneurs, increasing the demand economy, and focusing on the domestic sectors forms protections, there is the possibility that we can increase the manufacturing sectors, manufacturing-led growth economy, and it has potential to address the growing labor force, absorption of the growing labor force, and address the unemployment issues in the economy up to the some extent. Other thing is that we need to follow the long-term policy. Through the short-term policy or changes in the policy very frequently, it is not going to help. So this analysis are suggesting that we need to follow a comprehensive long-term industrial policies for achieving a developed economic vision or manufacturing-led growth economy, particularly in the countries like India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Akhilesh. Dear audience, we heard another excellent presentation, very important, and as I was mentioning, also resonates very well in the context of what we are observing in the context of Bangladesh economy. There will be a lot of questions. There are literature which will be arguing that whether we do need an industrial policy, or whether, more important, whether there are policy scope in this globalized world for industrial policies to be pursued in our countries. But Dr. Akhilesh is very clear, and I tend to agree with him that we do need industrial policies in our countries, although, as I said, various global institutions, and they have their own rules of the game and obligations that we have to comply with. So that constrains our policy space. That's what I'm telling. So Dr. Akhilesh mentioned whether we can pursue those. The other observation that I had is deindustrialization, the term that he has mentioned. because the contribution was decreasing of the manufacturing sector in the GDP, is very strong term. One strand in the argument in the literature is also that you cannot decouple manufacturing and services in this world now. So services are very much entwined with manufacturing of goods. So if you just take the share of manufacturing, then you may come to a false conclusion also. But we can discuss this very good presentation and a very timely policy tailored. Now we have the third presentation also online. Okay, that will be Mr. Abhichal Sharma, PhD student, Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, IIT in Bangladesh. IITs are very well known as centers of excellence. So he's coming from there, Mr. Sharma, and his theme will be analyzing the role of elasticity of substitution and patent policies in the dynamics of economic growth and economic output of an overlapping general equilibrium framework. Let's hear Mr. Sharma, your 10 minutes. Thank you.
Mr. Sharma, you are not clearly audible.
Can you hear us? Mr. Sharma?
I can hear you. Hello?
Mr. Sharma, we can see your screen, but we cannot hear you.
Can you hear us, Mr. Sharma? Okay, I think let's do that, and by that time that technical issues will be resolved, hopefully. So let us go to the next one, which will be presented by Ms. Saifa Samsad Portia, student, Department of Economics, Jagannath University.
Hello, am I audible?
Okay, yes. Can you hear us?
Hello? Yes, I can hear you. Good morning, everyone.
Mr. Sharma, your sound getting started.
Mr. Sharma, what we propose is that we have the next presentation and then we will see if you are better audible. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you for your patience. Okay, Portia, impact of social media marketing on business performance of SMEs during the during and post-COVID period, the case of Bangladesh. Okay, your 10 minutes, please. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. I am Saifa Samsad Portia, postgraduate student, Department of Economics, Jagannath University, Bangladesh. First of all, I want to thank SANEM for giving me the opportunity to represent my paper here. I also want to thank our chair, Professor Mustafizur Rahman sir, and discussant Dr. Samir Kumar Das sir. In the beginning, I want to add that this paper is from my undergrad thesis and the very first paper I have done. So I'm apologizing if any kind of unwanted mistakes happen. And during the COVID-19, I got the idea as we shifted from the physical market to online market. So I thought that what is the performance of the small business entrepreneurs and what is the result during and post COVID-19 situation. The name of my paper is Impact of Social Media Marketing on Business Performance of Small Business Enterprise During and Post COVID-19 Period, the Case of Bangladesh. The background. So small business is identified as privately owned or sole proprietorship, which should have not more than 15 employees set by the Fair Work Act and not more than 50 employees by European Union and fewer than 500 employees by US Small Business Administration and Programs. Both in the studies of Poon and Mirajan Habib, they said that social media marketing can increase the capacity and also can create opportunities and reduces trade barriers for the SMEs. As well as the social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram can create more customers, as well as it focuses on the existing customers. In the developing countries like Australia and United Kingdom, they also account for the SMEs. And if we see to the developing countries like Saudi Arabia, like Indonesia, they are also adopting e-commerce and social media marketing. India is also concerned about their SMEs for economic and social development. And in Bangladesh, there are about 2,500 online platforms. Though the fallout rate is 35%, but it is increasing yearly about 25%. Here's the literature review. In the literature reviews, the study showed the factors that influences social media marketing, where in the study of Miraj and Habib, they have said that perceived benefits, ICT knowledge, and government are significant, whereas insignificant factors are outer pressure and perceived cost. In my study, I have basically followed the study of Patma and the study of Chatterjee and Kaur, where Patma has said that during COVID-19, the business shifted from traditional to online activities, as well as he has some factors too, that are financial support, perceived benefits, and external pressure during COVID-19. And Chatterjee and Kaur has some factors too, which are perceptions of use, perceived convenience, compatibility for the social media marketing. The conceptual framework, basically I have taken this conceptual framework from the study of Chatterjee and Kaur, where social media marketing is positively influenced by perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, compatibility, external pressure, facilitating condition, and is negatively affected by cost. Then, social media marketing positively affects business performance. The main objective of the study is to analyze the business performance through social media marketing of small business enterprises in Bangladesh during and after COVID-19, and also to know the factors that analyzes the social media marketing. Methodology. First of all, it is a quantitative research, and a questionnaire of 55 questions were constructed for this study. I distributed the questionnaires to different Facebook platforms of entrepreneurs and requested the small business entrepreneurs to fill up the form. And I collected 52 samples, and asked the respondents to measure their factors in the in Likert scale, which is from 1 to 5, strongly disagree to strongly agree. I constructed two models, which are ordered logistic model and ordinary least squares regression model. Both in the models, there are, in the first model, the dependent variable is social media marketing, and the independent variable is perceived usefulness of ease, compatibility, facilitating condition, cost, and external pressure. And in the second model here, independent variable is social media marketing, whereas the dependent variable is the business performance. Same goes for the second model. The demographic profile, from the table 1, we can see that 22 to 24 age category, which means the young category, has the majority, which is 55.7%. And in table 2, we can see that female has the majority, which is 81.1%. For occupation, student has the majority, and in the city, between Dhaka city and outside of Dhaka city, there is a majority of Dhaka city, which is 79.2%. Parameter estimation of social media marketing. Here, in the green shaded area, it is seen that age positively affects social media marketing, and PEU, perceived usefulness, as well as COM, compatibility, positively affect and significant to social media marketing. And others factors are in blue shaded area, and they are insignificant to social media marketing. Though facilitating condition and cost is positive, has positive effect, but perceived ease of use, PEOU, has negative effect to social media marketing. External pressure also has positive effect and significant to social media marketing. And here, unlike prior studies, in my study, I have got that social media marketing has negative effect on business performance, but the number of employees and age has positive effect on business performance. It is the result from ordinary least squares. From the blue shaded area, it is seen that most of the 3 of the factors, and respondents have said that they agree with these factors, and the ash shaded area shows that they are neutral about these factors. Findings. Perceived usefulness, compatibility, and external pressure is significant and positive, which is related to the other studies, but perceived ease of use, facilitating condition, cost, and social media marketing here is insignificant and negative, which is unlike prior studies. And I want to mention that here facilitating condition is insignificant and positive, which is related to the study of Chatterjee and Kaur. New information. From the questionnaire, I have surveyed that 50% of the respondents thought that they suffer from fraud customers, and 41.5% thought that boosting page and their post is beneficial for them. Before COVID-19, about 26.9% thought that by social media marketing and by live, it is beneficial, but it increased vastly after COVID-19, which is 16% strongly agree and 38% of the respondents agree that live is beneficial for them. Before COVID-19, the respondents thought that only 7.5% that it is affected to have promotional advertisements through vloggers and influencers, but after COVID-19, it also increased, which is 17% strongly agree and 43.4% agree that it is a important method. The limitations. First of all, my sample size is small, and it was location based, which was Dhaka city. I didn't take any discriminant validity test, as well as I analyzed the study only the basis on Facebook and Instagram, and other social media platforms were not analyzed. Conclusion. In this study, I got that perceived usefulness, compatibility, cost, facilitating condition, and external pressure has positive effect on social media marketing of small business enterprises in Bangladesh, and it shifted from traditional activities to online activities as well. And students are performing in this platform very well, which can create a new opportunity for us. And the small business enterprises has to increase their cost for advertising if they want to make their growth more, and if they want to be a medium or big size enterprise. It can be recommended that social media marketing is an important tool for our small business enterprises, and it impacted during and after the COVID-19 situation. It is all about my paper. Thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you. Thank you, Portia, for another excellent presentation. I think the theme is very important and well known to for all of you. During COVID, social marketing had a very fast growth, and many of the SMEs who were not accustomed to this channel of marketing became involved. We also have to remember that many could not. So there was a divide over there also. And we have seen during the COVID that many SMEs went out of business also. So we will have to keep the big picture in mind as well. But it's true that, that there was a growth in online and e-commerce based marketing. And this can also be empowering because many of the SMEs are led by women. So I think that from that perspective also it has a democratization of entrepreneurship effect. We have to remember that. So how can we stimulate this adoption through various policy support is something that can come out from this as a policy pickup and take up. So very interesting presentation. We can have a discussion later on. Now, what is happening with Mr. Ovichal?
We have his presentation with us. He will keep talking in the Zoom and we'll
Yeah, I think that will be helpful in terms of, you know, getting him heard here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Mr. Ovichal, can you start your presentation?
Yes,
we will be helping you from this side. So that might help in terms of communication.
Okay, am I audible?
Yeah. 10 minutes, yeah.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. I'm here to present my research about the role of classification and also foreign policy. So,
Mr. Sharma, we still cannot hear you properly. What we can do, we can connect you through WhatsApp call, and you can share your presentation from there, I guess. Is it okay with you?
just one.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay. I'm calling you on WhatsApp.
Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute, sir. Is it proper? Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible now.
I hope my voice is not distorting.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, what do we know about the economic growth modeling? Right now, we have been studying is that the very general production function what we take is assuming about the constant Laplacian substitution in the production function. So that actually limits our study and actually bars us to realize about other functions that impact the dynamics of growth. And what we are seeking to do is to analyze the impact of variable markup. So the constant elasticity of substitution basically predicts that the markup is going to be constant in the endogenous growth when we actually apply the modeling endogenous growth variables. So what we are seeking is to see variable markups on the dynamics of economic growth and economic output via non-CS production function. And also by analyzing the growth, we will introduce some exogenous patent policy parameters like patent length and patent breadth.
Mr. Sharma, please guide us to change your slides.
Okay, you can change it now. Yes. So we in the unit there was a paper of Norbeck and Stockey in 2019 where they actually see the US manufacturing industries and the aggregate economy, and they found that there is actually much significant variation in the elasticity of substitution. Also, the paper by the Nakada in their paper in 2013 and also in 2020 they have actually used quite interesting methodologies to realize about the variable markups into the market and how they get changed via business cycles. So, Pitchford also finds that high elasticity of substitution leads to perpetual growth. Also, the technological uh, changes the requirement of labor as well as capital, and their relative differences also get changed when technology gets introduced. So, for endogenous growth model, it's a quite that is quite a significant impact, significant evidence to show that yes, we have to use a variable elasticity of substitution method. Um, so when our main purpose via this model to realize to actually find a much optimal IPR intellectual property innovative policies, that is basically intellectual property rights. What we are seeing is innovation policies via the patent path. So there are models by Romer and Drossman and Helfman, the first generation model where they actually uh, found with innovation a strong scale effects. But with the second generation models like Jones, they realized that it's not just the labor into the R&Ds, but also the previous research that also matters for proper innovation for growth via innovation and technological progress. Also, third generations actually try to completely remove the scale effects that can be seen by Young, the paper by Young. So there are actually when the previous paper used the representative agent model, where they take a family actually lives for an infinite period of time. However, the paper by Vesico, although they Kwan and Lai and Zhang also use the same representative agent model, but they find that a weak IPR policy is much more needed so that the competition could strive into the market and more people can come into the market. So, intergenerational trade model, when we introduce OLG model, that is overlapping generation model, where we take the family live for finite time and they live for finite time, and there only we can actually take the intergenerational trade, where the old generation sells their patents to the new generation. That there we can actually realize the paper. It has been done by John Shai and found that actually infinite patent lengths are much better in these models. Also, Sorek found patent length crowds out R&D investment. That is, there are two basic effects: that scaling price effect and crowd out effect. That the industry, the firms that actually get the patents get much more investment, and those who could not get patents get actually eliminated from the market. So weakening protection length also shows negative impact as one of my as the paper of my professor, Professor Divakar. So there is also a CS assumption I've been discussed before. So I'll be extending the model of Bushi and Matwinko, where they actually tried in they have used the representative agent model, but I'll be using the OLG model, and also I'll be introducing much new variables that were not present in their paper actually.
Mr. Sharma, you have 5 minutes left.
So my yes. So there is okay. So the utility function will be it's a finite time utility function. C2 will be the so basically for one period a person actually works and complete its wages is the only source of income, and in second period they take their savings and take interest from that. So from that optimal savings comes we get the optimal savings as shown in the figure. Also, we are actually not using the general PF model, and we are in generalizing the function for labor and capital. Although we have taken the aggregate, we have actually taken them independent, but we will later emerge it together. So the wage rate and prices we can see there. Also, the final goods sector here, Bushi and Matvinko has actually defined the production elasticities, and that gives us the price elasticity of demand, and that elasticity of substitution in the case of symmetry comes this. So the research arbitrage equation. So that is the intermediate sector which actually works for the which has the monopoly, or the final goods sector is perfectly competitive. It is a monopolistic competition sector, and here we can actually find out the optimal price. It is not constant, but rather depends on the elasticity of substitution. Also, the research arbitrage equation basically tells us that the returns what the old generation gets in the market, and how can when they will it will be equal to the profit they will get from selling their patents, and also the profit from the monopolistic competitive intermediate sector. So our first lemma is that when production elasticity of capital increases with increasing elasticity of substitution, then only the unique interest rate in the economy can persist when the interest elasticity of capital is greater than 1. So say here we can actually see that with putting savings equal to investment, because in the final goods sector we are assuming it perfectly competitive. So we can see here that the growth function actually depends much on upon the markup, and also the production elasticity of both labor and capital. So although it's inversely proportional for capital, production elasticity it directly proportional to the labor. Although there are many other interpretations, but we'll come later to it. When we introduce patent bets into the sector, so what patent bets actually does, it puts a bar on the markup that has been produced if there were no government intervention. So that via this, that lambda actually lambda is the pricing mechanism what government uses to limit the markup. So that is the research arbitrage equation, and the cost of capital here comes. So the profit here is one of the main theme of discussion. What suggests that the profit actually depends upon elasticity of the elasticity of capital and interest rates, and also the elasticity of patent breadth elasticity that changes with capital. We can see here that when the elasticity of capital in elastic region, and we are assuming here is that market elasticity is in elastic region. So the profit increases but satiates after a certain level of when it crosses the elasticity of 2. But when it is greater than, sorry, I think it has to be greater than 1. I'm really sorry. It is less than 1 and it is greater than 1. And it's really sorry for the mistake.
Mr.
Yes.
Sharma,
So
you have 1 minute left.
The profit, yes, I'm just done. And that is the profit actually decreases. So we have to actually consider in our analysis the importance of elasticity that actually limits why when we actually use constant elasticity of substitution method. So that is the economic growth. And the patent lens, the patent lens is by we can actually we are using the method used by Divakar, my supervisor, and that's the research arbitrage equation where I is taken from 0 to 1, and this is the stochastic framework, and the patent industries are given by the growth in the industry. So the growth level what we get here depends much changes with what the distribution of labor in patented firms and non-patented firms, basically. So I have actually discussed that with increasing markup for output increase in quality, interest elastic capital must lie in elastic region, and same goes with the growth factor when actually yes, it's just done, sir. Just done. So patent breadth and economic growth, also the trend of growth rate with increasing patent breadth remains upward if and only if the markup lies above the hyperplane. So elastic region में increase in patent breadth leads to increase in economic growth, but in inelastic region increase in patent breadth leads to decrease in economic growth. And that is for optimal patent length. That is the last slide. Optimal patent length actually changes. It actually gives you a much better explanation of crowding out effect and the scaling price effect, where the changes in the market investment in the non-patented industries actually leads to less growth, less optimum patent growth. So conclusion: variable markups correlate positively with economic growth, and for output to grow with capital interest elastic, capital has to be more elastic. So patent breadth and patent I have actually discussed, and thank you for your time, and really sorry for my disruption here.
Thank you, Vichal. Sorry for rushing you, but it was an excellent presentation, and the issues that you have picked up are very pertinent, I think, for India, of course, and also for Bangladesh, because your presentation blends the technological substitution which and the elasticity which determines the participation of technology, displacement of labor by technology, and also you have related it to a patent. And Bangladesh, which is going to graduate in 2026 from the LDC group, will have to comply with patenting, which we are not till now. So from that perspective, I think your presentation, which relates duration of patents with technology adoption, is very important, I think, from policy perspective for us in Bangladesh as well. So thank you very much. Maybe you can also come when there will be Q&A. But now we have a designated discussant who will be joining us online. Dr. Samir Kumar Das is Assistant Professor of Economics, School of Liberal Studies, University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Uttarakhand, India. So, Dr. Samir, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Professor Rehan.
Okay, so your 15 minutes, how much? Or 12 minutes?
Yes.
15 minutes, yeah.
Yes, 15 minutes.
Yes. So, yes, we look forward to hearing from you, your comments on all the 4 papers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Mustafizur Rahman, sir. And I would like to thank Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Sharma, Avichal Sharma, Ms. Persia, and Mr. Mahato also for your nice presentation. Many things we have got to learn from your presentation. This is the benefit of our seminar, and always Sanem encourage the people who are the young professor, that young professional, and who are the young scholar, which Professor Rahman already mentioned that. And at first, I would like to go to Dr. Akhilesh Kumar Sharma. Yeah, Dr. Sharma. Hello.
Yes.
Hello, Dr. Sharma.
Yeah, hello. Hi.
Yeah, he's there.
Yes,
he can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Sharma. From your paper, I have few clarification. The first question is that if the goal is to increase, I mean that in your paper, I have seen that you have written that our findings indicate that a sustained focus on the manufacturing sector through comprehensive policies has the potential to achieve manufacturing-led growth in a decade. It would have significant implications to household income and employment, along with an increase in GDP. That's fine. But here I need to get a clarification. So my question is that if the goal is to increase employment and household income, then what is the drawback in expanding the service sector further to increase employment and income? Yes.
Should I reply?
Yes, please.
Actually, the employment through the service sectors has some limitations. And employment is generation potential, employment, the labor absorption is more in the manufacturing sector. What I'm arguing is that if we are focusing on the manufacturing sectors, apart from achieving this goal, we are also addressing the labor issues. We are also addressing the income distribution aspects. Sure. So this is my point. In services sector, we have the more skilled employment. When you have the more skilled employment, it is generating more skewed income distribution in the economy. Okay. So this is the issue that I want to flag here.
Yes, but I think that not necessarily. You have said that in case of the service sector, we have skill issues like education or any other skill issues. Yes, but there are a lot of service sector jobs that needs little or no education. For example, in India, like Zomato and Swiggy delivery. So my argument is that since your model is a static CG model, so don't you think that that a similar kind of growth or increase we can get if you apply the policy prescriptions on the other sector as well?
No, I have done the same. Actually, I have not included the service sectors aspects here. I have done the exercise and I have seen that what happens if we are introducing same policies for the service sector, like the simulation 1, simulation 10 and simulation 11. Okay. So in that case, I have observed that it has negative impact on the income distribution issues. And also it has negative impact on the labor demand also. The reason is that when we are more thinking about the Swiggy and Zomato and others, but yes, you know, in India, if you see the skill distribution of the labor force, we have the more people that have the secondary educations, that we can say the mid-level, the skilled education, yeah, or the lower skill. So manufacturing sectors has more potential to absorb this labor force. So, but although with the transition, with the growing education and skilling, the things are improving, but service sectors has some limitations as of now.
Okay, I think there can be debate on that, but Dr. Samir, I think we can move on because there are other papers as well.
Yes, Professor.
Yeah, I understand. I think bilaterally we can also discuss with Samir.
Yeah. You can have
Samir. Yeah, we can discuss over phone.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. Just a minute, please. Here, I need to mention one thing, and by the time I can say that in case of Amazon and I mean that Flipkart also, in case of the JioMart and Tata Mart also, we see that we don't need that kind of skill for the delivery people, and these are the service sector also. So we are absorbing lots of labor.
Yeah.
But I have one clarification in your slide, I have seen that you have added in slide number 5 a chart that is, I think, from another paper. It is from, I believe that you have taken this structure from the paper of Bernard Decalui in 2009. So it's just a suggestion. You should write the reference. Otherwise, it seems that the author has done this. Nah? This is the thing. And in your paper, table number 6, column 3, you have shown that for the manufacturing-led growth. Okay, just I'm mentioning this. We will discuss later.
Okay, Dr. Sharma, we can, yes. Dr. Samir, we can move on.
Okay. So now I am going to Ms. Portia. I appreciate your presentation and your work, since you are very young scholar. And here I just few suggestions to you that in your paper you have written that ordinal linear square regression in page number 8. So I want to know, is it ordinal linear square or is it least square? If you can just see this, or you can give the answer.
Thank you, sir. Actually, there was an unwanted mistake in my draft, which I which I corrected it in the PPT, and it was ordinal least square regression model.
Okay, and in your paper, I think that table 5 is not necessary. It doesn't give us much information. And the other thing is that please specify the empirical equations that you have estimated. And another thing is that I think that you have two equations, SMM equal to, which I guess and which I estimate from your paper, SMM equal to F of function of PEU, PEOU, CUM, and FT plus epsilon. And in your BP equation, the function of SMM and is a question. Don't you think that the SMM variable is endogenous in the BP equation?
Sorry, sir, there was a network error. If you can repeat it again.
Yes. In your BP equation, don't you think that the SMM variable is endogenous in the BP equation?
Is there an endogeneity problem in the equation? That's what it is.
Sir, I added it here as I want to see that if social media marketing has an impact on social business performance or not, which in my paper it became negative, but I think that if I took more sample, it could be positive, which is positive in the other studies.
Okay, that's not my question.
Yeah, his question was a bit different, but we can discuss it later on. You wanted to clarify with regard to the equation and the endogeneity problem.
Yes.
Okay. Let's move on.
Yes, Professor Raymond, and just one thing. It's a suggestion to you that and in the during the COVID period, you said that the sale of the businessman has increased, but there is some particular product, like in case of medical industry, the sale can increase, but the during the COVID situation, since Bangladesh, we are not strong enough in case of manufacturing sector, many products from pin to heavy industrialization product we generally import from China and India also, and from any other country also. But at that moment, during the COVID situation, the supply chain has completely broken because many people have died. There was transportation problem. To get a final product, we need to go through 4 or 5 stages. So I think that you should keep in your mind. And the other thing is that in case of social media marketing, we have some barrier in Bangladesh also, because there is a trust problem. Maybe I am paying my money through Nagad and through Bikash or through any other that medium, but uh, there is a issue of originality of the product. That genuine product. After getting the product, we have to return these.
Okay.
And there are some other barriers also in case of internet availability in Bangladesh, and so these are the issues, trust problem. So I think that you should keep in your mind, and in your paper, just it's a suggestion. I am not demeaning you. Just it's a suggestion. I always appreciate you.
Yeah.
That I'm appreciating you. So there is too much repetition, like SMM. If you mention one time SMM and the abbreviation, you need not to mention all the time. In your paper, I have seen that in 136 times you mention SMM with the abbreviation. So I think that you should be careful about this. And in case of okay, thank you, Portia.
Yeah.
And in case of Avichal Sharma and in case of Mahato, Mr. Mahato, I feel that your paper is from macro and micro-based theoretical paper. So in case of your paper, I did not find any kind of significant error, so that I can make any kind of significant comment or suggestion. So just appreciate you for your nice presentation, and from on behalf of me and on behalf of Sanem, I would like to thank you, all of you, for your nice presentation and your excellent effort. So just over to Professor
Yes,
yes.
Dr. Samir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think you have done an excellent job. I think for our young scholars, both your last sentence will assure obviously the scholar about the validity of his approach and techniques. That is also reassuring. And also the first two papers, the suggestions, clarifications, comments that you have provided, I think that those will be very helpful to you. Particularly, I would like to mention about Portia. She is still a postgraduate student and done an excellent job. But as Dr. Samir was mentioning, you will have to, calibrate your presentation with regard to both the way you present and also, mentioning the limitations which are there. Dr. Samir is very right that whilst we have seen an exponential growth of SME, online SMEs and e-commerce during the COVID, it is also equally true that many small industries also went out of business. So access to internet, price of cost of internet, all these are also important. But what you are very right, and I would like to draw Dr. Samir's attention to this, is that really we also thought that people's trust, whether people will accept it, online supply, etc. But there was a lot of trust very quickly. People got accustomed to that. And there were some complaints with regard to, the sort of goods that you have received and what you are promised. But by and large, I think the adoption of technology during the COVID, and it has continued post-COVID also, it was phenomenal. It really, if you ask me, before the COVID, that if this type of business models develop, whether people will accept it, I would be a bit doubtful. But the real situation on the ground has proved us wrong. people have accepted it in spite of the various anomalies that you can face. So thank you very much, and I think your suggestions to our authors will be very helpful with regard to improving their papers. But I would like to now open the floor and give our students some minutes to give questions to our presenters. Yes, please. Yeah, please introduce yourself and give the question very, concrete, very brief.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Myself, Aship. I'm a postgraduate student of Department of Economics, Jagannath University. So first of all, thank you for all the paper presenters for your nice presentations. So my specific question is the Miss Portia. So in your presentation, you have said that SMM is important for the SMEs. And you have also said that many entrepreneurs suffer from the fraud customers and others. So here comes my question, which is, think about some short-term entrepreneurs who create a disrupt in the market or create an imbalance in the market using social media marketing, such as fake profile, fake products, and etc. So how can it impact for the long-term players or the actual players or the entrepreneurs who are trying to create a good for the social and for our society? Thank you.
Okay, please.
Thank you, Asif, for your question. As sir mentioned before that, if we have any kind of policy for this, and I want to add that our government should take some actions about the fraud customers, as well as in our country we know we have a law for the internet, but we don't have the law for the online entrepreneurs, online customers. So I think to get over the fraud customers as well as the fraud entrepreneurs, there should be some law and there should be some policies. I think you got your question's answer.
If I may add something, so how can we identify the fraud products or fraud entrepreneurs? Because otherwise we won't be able to control that, right?
To identify the fraud entrepreneurs, I think we can go through their page, okay, their reviews. What about the reviews? What about the customers or existing customers they have? If we want to purchase from a shop, we have to first of all go through their page or go through their profile, and then we can purchase.
So I think let me also mention that there are many ways. One is that the customer feedback, that is one that can give you some idea about the trustworthiness of the site. And the second is the law. If the law is there, maybe you will not be able to upfront identify the fraudster, but they will be kept at bay because of the fear of the punishment. So what Portia was mentioning is that we do have an exponential growth of e-commerce, but our rules and regulations will also catch up with that. So if there is a fear of punishment, that will also act as a deterrent for this type of practice. Yeah. Anyone else, please?
Can I answer this?
Yeah. Please.
So my question is to Dr. Akhilesh Sharma. So basically, he is using a model of general equilibrium, computable general equilibrium. That is nothing but an extension, a numerical extension of the general equilibrium of the Hexer-Ohlin type or the Jones type. In that, he has assumed CRS, constant returns to skull. And the natural implication is that you are getting perfect competition or zero profit, right? So while doing this kind of numerical exercise, is it safe to assume perfect competition in manufacturing sector or the service sector? In case of agriculture, we can understand, we can have CRS technology, right? But I think that it should be an increasing returns to scale technology in case of the service sector. So how far it is safe to assume such kind of CRS model? In that case, the results are questionable. So that is my question.
Okay. Would you like to respond, Avichan?
Yeah, I can respond.
Yeah.
Actually, any model has some limitation, whether CG model or even the assumptions within the models, because At different levels, we have different type of assumptions like Leontief production functions, CS production functions, constant returns to scale, increasing returns to scale, etc. I do agree with your views, but these models gives an indication. It doesn't mean that we are talking in terms of the quantity, this how much it is going to affect, but it gives a indication that if this type of intervention is happening in the economy, then what would be the possible direction? So that's the point I want to make. But I do agree with you that this is the limitation of this.
Thank you. So gives you the direction.
So just I have a suggestion that you can look into Avinash Dixit's paper, the popular paper, Dixit-Stiglitz model, right? So they have model, and in fact nowadays works are going on this. In fact CGE modeling. People are assuming increasing returns to scale. So you can look into that.
Okay, thank you. I think that's a very good suggestion. You can look at it, and I think that will help you improve your methodology and also interpretation, I think. So thank you.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? No other from the audience? No other questions?
Sir, can I add one point to the paper on MSMEs? Because I also work on MSMEs.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think this is really a very interesting paper. And since it is based on the primary survey, I would like to suggest that in this, when you are talking that it has the positive impact, social media has positive impact on the performance, then you should also try to get information from the entrepreneurs that why it is positive. Particularly, it is basically increasing their access to market. Particularly in case of the women entrepreneurs, they may not have the flexibility to reach to the customer directly due to the many social reasons or other reasons. But through the internet, through the social media, they have the potential to reach the large markets. And that's why it has the positive impact. But I think if you are increasing some, adding some questions related to it, and that will be the more useful to the understanding the process that why it is having the positive impact on the performance. It is the small suggestion if taken.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, for your suggestion. I will extend my paper I will extend my paper, and I have the plan to take some big sample as well as from different demographic factor.
Yes, yes. I think that is what is needed for your next work. You should expand the sample size, then it will be more representative of the real situation. So thank you very much. I would have thought that our audience, young students, scholars, future policymakers will have more questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. There is no, bad question. There may be bad answers. So be confident, because this is the, way you really, develop yourself. And also become good scholars, good researchers. So this is very important. One problem I see in our country education system is that sometimes our classes are so big that we cannot encourage. When I was teaching in Dhaka University, one of my frustrations was that my class size was 90. So if you have a class size of 90 and you have to deliver your lecture in 1.5 hours, you cannot really have an interaction. So that's, but it's very important that you think and give questions. Don't take anything for granted. Subject everything to critical, examination. That's the way to go forward, and that will be what really will take Bangladesh to the next frontier. The issues that we have today discussed, the 4 excellent papers and the comment that has been provided by Dr. Samir, I think all of these will help you in terms of understanding, even though 3 presentations were with regard to India, but it will help you understand the current challenges that Bangladesh is facing, the solutions that we should be looking out for. So all the four presentations are very pertinent for Bangladesh, as I was mentioning, even with regard to the patent, so what implications it has for technology adoption. Bangladesh will be graduating, many new challenges. So all the presentations have a policy relevance. It's just not research for research. What is the policy impact it will have? That is also very important. Knowledge for knowledge is of course necessary, but those fundamental research also have practical implications. So you'll have to always remember that. So all the four presentations that we have, those presentations had this policy relevance. Whenever you hear something, try to relate what implications it has on the world that we see, and the changes that we should make. So thank you very much. Our four presenters, our designated commentators, they have done an excellent job. So on behalf of you, I would like to thank them, and you have been very good audience. So on behalf of them, I thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Sanem, for another excellent.
And sir, just I have a small suggestion. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, here.
Yeah.
Yes,
so it is that I have seen that there are sessions on labor economics, on gender, on development, on trade, on macroeconomics and growth, but there could be a dedicated session on microeconomics, right? Because very significant works are also going on microeconomics. So it is just a suggestion that from the next time you could have a microeconomics separate session. Yeah.
Okay, but some of the sessions do interface with microeconomic issues.
Overlapping.
Yeah, there are no overlapping. Okay, certificates.
Mr. Shushoban Mehta, please. Miss Saifa Samsat Porisha. Sir, আপনার তিনজন যদি একসাথে একটা স্যার একটা ছোট্ট সুভিনিয়ার আছে স্যার আপনি থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার
Dear audience, we will now have a 15 minutes tea break. I would like to request you all to come back to the auditorium by 11:45 a.m.